With me being an 18-year-old high school student, it's safe to say I haven't experienced an extreme amount of life. But I have had my fair share of experiences, from riding a bike for the first time to my first day in middle school, to my first big move and getting my license and driving on my own for the first time, even experiencing little things like petty fights with friends and heartbreaks that felt like the end of all humanity. In this bag, I hold three things that hold meaning to me. One thing that represents my past, one thing representing my present, and something that will represent my future. In the next few minutes, I will describe each item and its symbolic meaning to me. My past has contained so many lessons, but so many memories made from those lessons as well. One thing that I think represents my past fairly well is my old house key. I used to live in the Minneapolis suburban area up until the age of 15. The house I lived in up there was the house I was born into and grew up in. I made so many memories with friends, and sleepovers, movie parties, and bonfire nights in my big open backyard. Of course, there were hardships. My kitchen was the last place I ever saw my granny before she passed away in 2013. My living room was where my dad had a heart attack in 2008, and my bedroom was where I found out I was moving 2.5 hours away in 2014. Being that we lived on a busy road, there was plenty of action out there too. New Year's Eve one year, two Russian 20-somethings ran into a deer right in front of our driveway. We went out and gave them our phones to contact family for help and made small talk. Leaving that house was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I'm happy those memories get to last me an entire lifetime. Does it say that nobody really ever has all their ducks in a row? I'm totally convinced it's not just me. Something that represents my present life is a big old question mark. Literally. I've been encountering so many obstacles lately. I know that people go through times in their lives like this, and I know they tend to live their lives day to day. After dealing matters with some friends, seeing my best friends go through rough patches in their marriage, starting my senior year of high school, and losing people important to me in my life to better things. It all seems like one big mess for the time being, and to be frank, I don't know where things are headed in the near future. But one thing I'm positive for sure, and that is eventually, things will start looking up for me. The future is such a scary thing to think about, though, but for me it's so exciting. Granted, thinking about my future does give me hope that I will soon be out of this lull in my life. But I have very high hopes for my future. Here, sheet music is something that I believe represents my future, because I am attending school next fall to become an orchestra director. Music has always been something I am passionate about. Ever since 6th grade when I started, I knew that music was going to play some sort of role in my future. When I moved to Fairmont, Minnesota, orchestra started changing and becoming more of a serious matter, and I liked the change of pace. I liked the spunk my director had. That's when I figured out I wanted to go into music education. My entire future lies in sheet music, quite literally actually. I think it will be an abundance of such, and I will be the happiest I've ever been. To conclude the topic of my life stored inside this bag, I never realized how much a person's life can be summarized into something as simple as 3 items. One for the past, one for the present, and one for the future, each holding just as much meaning as the one before it. My house key holds so many memories and hardships where I grew up, and the one true place I will ever call home. The question mark symbolizes confusion on where I'm going, but also me knowing that the only place I can go from here is up. And sheet music represents my future successes in the music industry, and hopefully fulfilling a long-standing goal of mine by becoming an orchestra director. I'm very humbled to reflect on my life with these items, as I realize I really don't have it just as dull and rough as I thought. This also can make one realize your life does have meaning.